Hello there. It's been a long time since I used a FaZe Cam, especially if you've been a sub of mine for a very long time. I think the last time that I included FaZe Cam in videos was like, 4 or 5 years ago? Somewhere around the first year of Modern Warfare 19. But I thought because today's video was a very unique video, I think it's only right to include FaZe Cam in this one. As you all could tell by the title of the video, I have been officially kicked from FaZe Clan. I want to start this video off by saying that I have nothing but love for FaZe Clan. I don't have any bad blood towards FaZe Clan itself. I've always loved the idea of FaZe Clan. They were super generous to even give me a chance of joining FaZe Clan back in 2014. Especially shout out to Rain, Jev, Agony, and Banks. Those four are the reason why I joined FaZe Clan in the first place. Rain pushed for me, Jev pushed for me tremendously, Agony pushed for me tremendously, and Banks, of course, is the one that actually recruited me. Because of that, I will always be thankful to those four. And I've enjoyed my time being in FaZe. However, I will also say that not all of it has been good. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this has been a joyride from day one till now. To anyone that is new, you didn't know me, or you used to watch me years ago, and you haven't in a long time, you just simply forgot. My name is Cameron, aka FaZe Kitty. Not anymore. Unfortunately, just kidding now. I've been in FaZe Clan for almost 10 years. I joined July 19, 2014, 3 weeks after Phase 5 in 2014. I didn't obviously place in the top 5, but I placed 6th place. And the reason why I know that is because 3 weeks after that challenge ended, I was the only one that then got recruited immediately after. And there was like a year time span after that before someone else got recruited. So I did pretty well in the challenge, but I didn't make it during Phase 5. I grinded for about 4.5 years before I made it into the team. If you remember, I was solo, and then I was in Obey Alliance for 2.5 years, and then I was in SOAR for about 3 weeks before I officially got picked up from FaZe. Ever since then, I have non-stop grinded. Everyone knows this is true. If you've ever followed me, if you've ever watched me, if you've ever even known about me in the COD scene, whether or not you like me, dislike me, you know for a fact it is true that I never stopped grinding. I grinded from before FaZe, and since the day I joined, I kept going. I never took breaks, which I definitely should have, kept my head down, and I grinded. And it was some of the most fun years I've ever had in my life. In a couple months, it would have been exactly 10 years of being in FaZe. I've put a good amount of time into this org, into this scene. It's been fun. It is currently April 27th, 10 in the morning, which I received the call about an hour and a half ago. So it was like 8:30 in the morning my time. If you didn't know already, I now live in Finland. I've lived in Finland for about 5 years now. So I'm on a different time zone, but I woke up to this call of me getting kicked from FaZe Clan. So I received the call from one of the OGs. I'm not going to name drop who, basically stating that I was officially being dropped today. There should be an announcement going up later today from FaZe Clan. I'm not sure what time. It may be either before or after this video. Not too sure. It will be sometime today, officially announcing what FaZe's plans are going forward. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm sure you'll see. I also want to quickly mention that I'm not the only one that got dropped. This isn't like it's a personal, I got kicked and that's it. Now, I don't seem as distraught as some other people probably are going to be. The reason why is because I've had a lot of time to really think about this and process everything. Basically, back in 2022, if you paid close attention to the FaZe roster on their actual website, I was moved officially from their content creator list to the Hall of FaZe on their website, which now has been taken down. Basically, it was a roster meant to show people that have really contributed to FaZe Clan as a whole, but are not currently an active member. Now that always made sense to me. The idea of the Hall of FaZe roster was a good idea. I think it is a good idea to represent people that have done a lot over the years, but it didn't make sense to me at the time when I was put on that roster. And the reason why is because about halfway through 2019 through 2022, I was one of FaZe Clan's biggest members in terms of growth, in terms of analytics. I was killing it. I was getting millions and millions of views. And that's on YouTube long form. That's before short form even became a thing. This was purely long form. In 6 months, I gained almost 360,000 subscribers in 6 months. That is crazy. Any YouTuber knows that that is nuts, especially on long form content. So in no way, whether or not you like me, dislike me, you cannot tell me that I wasn't killing it. And during that time, I was not appreciated the way I should have been. If you've ever known me, you know this is true. I don't sit here and beg for things. In the 10 years of being in FaZe Clan, I've made less than $3,000 from them. Originally, members were paid for their montages that used to go up years ago, back in 2014 through 2015. Paid individually for our specific montages that went up. Within that, I made about roughly $3,000. I think it's actually a little bit less than that. And that ended in 2015. Since then, I have not made any amount of money from FaZe Clan. I have never been pitched a sponsor from them, even when I was at my peak, which is crazy because I could have done numbers for them. As time went on and FaZe became less of a Call of Duty team and more towards an actual brand and organization, of course, they acquired managers that were supposed to be managing all of the creators throughout the time. Throughout that time, I had 2 managers, one of which ghosted me for 3 months, and the other one actually was very nice to me. But unfortunately, we didn't work very long together before she got moved to different people. So I didn't really have a chance to like really do anything. When I was at my peak pulling millions, I never once received any kind of management, and I never received any sponsors or anything. Nothing was pitched my way. No, analytically, it doesn't make any sense. The only thing that I could possibly think of was that I was in Finland. However, if these were brand deal offers that were requiring me to come to the US to do them, it's a no-brainer. I would have done them. It's an example of how I have been treated in FaZe Clan over these years, and it sucks. Now, if you were to look at my channel right now, it would make total sense if I got dropped right now because I'm not pulling the numbers that I used to. And I would be perfectly okay with that if I got dropped right now because of that. But that was not the case. I was dropped, or essentially dropped, 2 years ago. There was no real word-for-word confirmation of me being kicked from FaZe Clan at that time. But the way I saw it and the way that a few of my other close friends who looked at it saw it was that if I'm getting removed off that main roster to a Hall of FaZe, I got kicked. And that never made any sense to me whatsoever, simply because of how I was doing during that time. Also, the thing that I never understood too was that I was never given an actual reason as to why I was even being moved to that roster. There's a lot of other people that were moved too, and I can't speak on their behalf, but I'm willing to bet you that a lot of them were not given a reason either. It never made sense to me. Still to this day does not make sense to me. I was told over the phone, and I'm not going to say who it was, but you know who you are, that FaZe could not manage me internationally because I moved to Finland, which is bull. Because at that time, there was over 10 people that were in FaZe Clan that had managers that were international. So whatever PR was thrown at me, I knew that off the rip that was complete. Just a couple of weeks ago, actually, Banks unfollowed me. And normally I wouldn't give a about unfollowing social media, any of that, because I hate social media. I don't even really use it that much. But I did check his following just to see. He still follows people that have openly and publicly on FaZe Clan and himself, but he still follows them, which is why I found that whole thing very, very weird. And I showed that to a few other people, including people that are in FaZe Clan right now. Every single person found that to be weird. I don't have any beef with Banks. Banks is literally the person that recruited me. I appreciate everything he's done for me over these years. But I do find that very, very weird. When I officially got moved to the Hall of FaZe roster, that's when things really started to change. Since being moved from that Hall of FaZe roster, I have only spoken to one person in management. One person who now doesn't work there anymore. So because of that, I've been sitting on this for 2 years. If you think 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, a year is bad, try sitting on this for 2 years and wondering every single day of my life if I'm still in this org. Obviously, over the years, FaZe Clan's content has changed. It started off as Call of Duty montages and trick shotting and has now evolved into an international organization. And it's been wonderful to see this org grow. I know there's this whole stigma a while ago about FaZe branching off from Call of Duty, but to be completely honest, that was the smartest move that FaZe could have ever made. If it had stuck to purely Call of Duty, this organization would probably be like 1/10 of the size it currently is. So I think some people in FaZe moving on from Call of Duty and expanding was the best thing that the organization could have done. However, during that time, FaZe Clan still needed people to represent their original roots. Of course, was the Call of Duty sniping side. And it's not just me. I'm not going to sit here and say it's just me. There's dozens of other members that have contributed a ton of time. There's a whole list of people that have spent so many years grinding for this team, for FaZe, and we have all upheld the roots of FaZe Clan. I feel like that gets overlooked quite a bit. Everyone always talks about the OGs in FaZe Clan, but they seem to forget that without us, FaZe Clan would have fallen apart 5 years ago. It's just the truth. Fast forward 2.5 years later, I've now received a call telling me that I've officially been dropped. And even now, I still have no actual idea as to why, which I think is the part that hurts the absolute most. I have been in this org since July 19th, 2014. I have dedicated 10 years, pretty much 10 years of my life. And out of all that time, I still cannot be told to this day as to why I was dropped. I find that a massive kick in the balls. And I've asked a lot of people what their opinions are on that, and not a single person has disagreed with me. For all the people that are watching this video, I want you to picture for a second. Pretend you were in an organization such as FaZe, or an organization of that size, for 10 years. You worked at a company for 10 years, and you get fired without being told as to why. I don't know how you as a viewer will see this, but from my point of view, I think it's extremely disrespectful that I have not been told an actual reason as to why, considering how much time I have spent in this organization. With that being said, I do wish FaZe Clan nothing but the best. I really hope that the organization can turn it around. At the end of the day, no matter how they treat me, I still want to see an organization like this that we all built together succeed. It's a very hard video to make. I never thought I would have to make this video, but shit happens. Here we are. Trying to take it the best way I possibly can. I'm not really that worried, honestly, about my future going forward. Sorry, this video is kind of random. It's out of the blue, but I needed to get all of this off my chest because I've been holding on to this information for pretty much 2 years now. I'm not going anywhere. To be quite honest, this may even give me a crazy boost of motivation to really grind this shit again, really grind again and hit a mill. I appreciate you stopping by. For any of the people that do not care about me being in FaZe and watch me just for me, I do appreciate you more than you will ever fucking know. If you got any questions, I'm going to be live later today on kick.com/kitty. We're pushing for the KCIP program. I have another video coming out probably tomorrow or maybe the day after. Just depends on how long it takes to edit because I got a lot of editing to do. But basically, it's going to be like a best of FaZe Kitty. Over 10 years of content. That's going to be a sad video to make. Got to do it. Kind of as lost as you guys are. We'll keep pushing. See you guys in the next video.